So a few days ago we got the absolutely massive Grand Festival trailer for Splatoon 3 from Nintendo, and this was packed full of all kinds of fun and interesting details. Now whilst of course Nintendo did not give everything away as we generally didn't expect they would, there are still a ton of really interesting pieces of tidbits that I think you might have missed. So we're going to be taking a look through all of them in this video. Starting us off, right at the very start of the trailer, we can see a bus which features all of the different groups from Splatoon. They are featured here to celebrate the event. Most likely this bus is being used to ferry characters out to this location, and in fact it wouldn't entirely surprise me if this is the method of transport of how we actually get out here, as of course we'll have to get there somehow. Speaking of the location, we get a full look at it here, and it's very obvious immediately exactly where this is. This is the location of the train tracks where we start up in Splatoon 3, where the Eiffel Tower is overturned. It's a really cool nod to the start of the game, and it's just amazing to see this area fully utilized like this. At the time, it was currently under construction, so that was our first hint that Nintendo was planning on doing something major at this location, which is really cool foreshadowing so far ahead of time. In a sense, it kind of reminds me of Mad Max, and I do wonder if that's a little bit what they're going for here with all the trucks and cars and such, so it's really interesting. It doesn't seem like the train tracks themselves are in use, so I don't think we'll be using the train station to access this location. Instead, it seems more likely we will be using the bus, which I think makes a lot of sense, and it's cool to think we'll be traveling via bus for the first time in Splatoon. It's kind of like Animal Crossing now, where we've got all of these different modes of transportation to get around. Either way, I love this throwback to the start of the game to celebrate Splatoon 3's 2-year anniversary. It all just ties together perfectly well, and I think it's really creative planning from Nintendo to do this from the very start, basically. Now, you'll notice our character covered in ink as they enter into the area, and this is a new type of effect that was added in especially for this event. We will see our character and also jellies, as you can see in this screenshot, all covered in ink throughout the event. We've seen all kinds of different effects throughout the different special Splatfests in the game, mostly related to the ink itself, but this time around we'll have ourselves covered in ink, which I believe is the first time we've seen this. Usually you're covered in ink when you get attacked by an opponent in Splatoon, so now the fact that we're just doing it for fun is kind of funny, I guess. Maybe it isn't the same type of ink which actually hurts us, so we can avoid any pain. But yeah, I love all the details here. You can see all the jellies in the background covered in different ink colors and such. There's so many different varieties. It doesn't really give away the ink colors of what we can expect for the event, so we'll have to wait before we can truly see exactly what those look like, aside from the preview, of course, which showed us the different teams. Now, interestingly, it appears like several different types of concerts will be going on. I'm guessing at the very start of the event, we'll have these more laid-back casual concerts, where it's just in a sort of little tent. You can see here that everyone is celebrating, but it is much more low-key. There aren't a ton of jellies here, and we have the Squid Sisters, Deep Cut, and Off the Hook just in their normal outfits. So this is basically how the event will start up. I do think that's really cool, honestly, and it does make me wonder how big this area is if we're going to be able to explore these different tents and such. To see all of our different favorite idols perform, it's going to be a lot of fun to explore around. Now, when we take a look at these two screenshots together, we can see that they will be performing at different times. So it seems like they'll rotate in and out. This is the exact same area, but they are performing at different points. They aren't performing together yet. So seemingly the idol groups will take their own turns to be able to perform on the mini stages. However, this one is actually different than the one we saw the Squid Sisters perform in. As you can see, it's not a full tent, it's more just like a regular concert stage, with the people watching being outside of it. So there are just going to be so many different areas to explore throughout this new location when we're playing, and that is something which excites me so much. I think it's going to be absolutely incredible. I do wonder what the schedule will be for different people performing. I guess we'll have to try and figure that out, but hopefully Nintendo will let us know so none of us miss any of the different performances from our favorite characters. Or maybe it won't actually be based on real time, maybe they'll just kind of swap in and out and such. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Either way, it definitely confirms we're going to have a pretty robust soundtrack for this event. There are going to be a ton of different songs from all of the groups being played at different points, and of course some special new songs and content as well, which will make things really, really exciting. So I just can't wait to see everything related to the actual concerts themselves in this event. Speaking of concerts, when things kick off into the more major concert, as we can see here, this is really cool because it is actually directly referencing the Nintendo Live events, as you can see here. If you didn't know, Nintendo has hosted these holographic concerts in Japan for their Nintendo Live events. And here, everyone is given these little glow sticks so they can celebrate alongside the idols who are performing their best songs. And that is exactly how they have done it in Splatoon 3. I just love the fact that they have connected to this event because it's something that has been going on for a long time now. It started off with the Squid Sisters, then they did a collaboration with Off the Hook, and we've even seen one more recently for Deep Cut as well. So the fact that they're finally properly referencing this in-game and allowing us to effectively attend the concert in-game itself, that is so cool. Of course, so many people aren't able to go to Nintendo Live, so now you technically can by playing in Splatoon 3, which I think is going to make a lot of people really happy, and it's a very fitting celebration for the game. Now, something I did actually notice about their performance on the main stage, where they'll all be performing together, they actually perform at different levels. As you can see here, they all have their own little spaces on the stage. It seems like perhaps maybe the stage might even move around a little bit. There's suddenly a lot of different mechanics at play here, so each of the idol groups can get their own spotlight and it doesn't feel like they're all too crammed together. There's a ton of space here, and Deep Cut especially seems to get their own area of the stage, which makes sense as they are the newest group in Splatoon, so it just all looks really cool. Now, when they perform together on stage, it seems like they all will be performing Now or Never 7. This will be their new collaborative song, something which they hinted towards in the latest interview that we got with all of the different idols in Nintendo Magazine. I think it's really cool how they hinted towards this in that, and now we're basically getting confirmation that's exactly what we're going to see. I can't wait to hear exactly what it sounds like. Again, for the music lovers of Splatoon, it's going to be so much for them to enjoy. There's going to be a lot of remixes of older songs, I'm imagining. There's going to be a lot of new songs to enjoy as well, and lots of surprises. So it's going to be a ton of fun in that department. I'm guessing that the special stage will happen during the second half of the Splatfest, and that for the first half we'll have them performing individually on their own stages. So there's a lot to look forward to this event. Now, I'm about to go full conspiracy mode with this one, but just take a look at this band and don't tell me they don't remind you of a very famous band that we all know. Yes, to me it looks like these are referencing the Beatles. Now, okay, probably in reality they aren't, but some of these coincidences are a little bit strange. The one that looks like Paul looks exactly like him. The one that looks like George, not really. I mean, he didn't play the keyboard, but I guess they've got to have keyboards. The Ringo one, though, I mean, that is dead on. That is exactly the same. And then the John Lennon glasses on the last one. It does feel like a very strange coincidence if that is the case, and the Beatles are incredibly popular in Japan even to this day, and a lot of Nintendo developers would have grown up with them, so it wouldn't shock me if this was a sneak little reference, but I just found it kind of funny. Let me know in the comment section down below what other details you've noticed with the Grand Festival though. I would love to hear. If you made it to the end, make sure to comment Splat Gang so I know you did. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for more.